Last night I finally got to see 28 Years Later, directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland. This film is fantastic, and I see a lot of people on this app who are not quite happy about it. They were maybe expecting a different movie because this one is quite different from the previous two installments. I honestly think this is like the most heartfelt movie in the trilogy. Like the other two films, though they are amazing films, had like a sense of like kind of meanness, raw, like terror involved. And this one had a completely different vibe. So I feel like if you're expecting kind of that rough nature of the first two films, you're going to be a little bit disappointed because this film is not really about the infected. It's really about this little boy named Spike, who's played by the wonderful Alfie Williams. He did a wonderful job. This film is really about family, the love between a mother and her son. It also explores what the world would look like 28 years later after the rage virus has infected everyone. Because another thing about this film, it's not really traditionally a zombie movie because they're not zombies. These people have just been infected with the rage virus, and it is interesting their take on how this virus has kind of evolved throughout the years. We see several different types of people who have become infected, and it's exhibited in them kind of differently. I thought that was an interesting take, kind of seeing how this virus has evolved over time. The plot revolves around Spike. He is a 12-year-old boy. There are lots of expectations that have been set on him by his father and his community. When young men are old enough, they go to the mainland to make their first kill. Spike and his community have been living on this island that's kind of protected by water, but when there's a low tide, they're able to travel onto the mainland. And when he does, on his 12th birthday with his father, they encounter lots of different infected. Spike is kind of introduced to lots of different things on the island. And while he's there, he sees there's a giant fire burning on the island, and he questions his father about who could live there. And his father doesn't quite tell him the truth. We are introduced to Spike's mother, Jodie Comer, who is lovely. I love her so much. And she is sick, and she has some sort of illness that Spike is not sure what it is or what's causing it, but he's so concerned for his mother. He loves her so much. When he gets back onto the island, he talks to his grandfather, who tells him that there's a doctor that lives on the mainland that kind of went a little mentally unwell and lives there by himself. But Spike sees that as the perfect opportunity to get his mother some help. And we see kind of a rift between Spike and his father. His father makes some interesting decisions that really don't sit well with Spike. So Spike basically makes a diversion and takes his mom onto the mainland to find this doctor to get her help. And that's what I love about this movie. It's really a movie about Spike and his mother. It's a movie about their love for each other and how he's willing to risk everything to help her. He loves her. He cares about her. That is his mother. We saw when he went on the mainland before with his father, like, it was rough, you know. He's still a young boy, and the expectations of him being kind of like this killing machine weren't quite fulfilled, you know. So it's dangerous. The voyage him and his mother are entering on is dangerous, but he's willing to do it because he loves his mother. And so while they're on this voyage, you know, they encounter lots of different types of infected. They run into a soldier who's been stranded on the mainland. We learned that, you know, the UK has basically been in quarantine. We learned that the rage virus has mainly been contained in the UK, and they have been completely quarantined and cut off from the rest of the world. And so when Spike encounters someone that's not from there, like, he is introduced to a lot of like modern age things that he's never heard of before, like iPhones or lip filler, you know, stuff like that. So we get to learn more kind of about where the world is at this time, as well as we're just learning more and more about Spike and his love for his mother and his resilience. There are many moments where he could have left her in the face of danger, but he does not. He's brave, and he stands up for his mom. There's so many beautiful scenes in this film, especially when we run into the doctor, played by Ray Fiennes, who does a great job in this film. I mean, I have my problems with him, but I think he played this character very well. I mean, his character is basically consumed with honoring the dead. He makes these monuments to honor fallen people. He is basically committed the rest of his life to honoring people. And he's more than willing to help Spike and his mother, Isla. And we learn about what's going on with her and what kind of disease she has. And it's incredibly sad. The way Spike has to say goodbye to his mother is just so heartfelt. It's so meaningful. I just thought it was a beautiful representation of that love, of honoring your loved ones after death. It was just so good. I really enjoyed it. I thought Alfie Williams was just such a fantastic actor. I thought he really carried this movie. Now, the end of the movie was quite interesting. It really sets us up for the following movies and I guess this new trilogy maybe. I've heard like we might be getting like 2 more films in this timeline, so that would be really cool. But yeah, the ending is quite jarring. It's a completely different vibe from the rest of the film, but I didn't mind it. I really enjoyed this film, and I enjoyed following Spike, and I hope we see him again in the next installment. One thing about this series is we don't really see reoccurring characters in each movie, that we're introduced to different people's stories, and I just thought this story in particular was just so special. And I feel like you have this little boy who's turning into a man. He doesn't turn into the man his father wants. He's so brave and resilient, and he shows his love for other people. He was strong, and he was strong for his mother, and that's the most important thing. I think this movie is just a great story of a son and a mother and their love for each other. And it is a different vibe than the rest of the films, but I think if you go in not really expecting like this bloody, crazy zombie movie, because again, these aren't necessarily zombies, I think you will enjoy this one. This one is really heavy on just the emotional journey for these characters and not necessarily a bunch of like, zombie action. So I don't know. I would definitely give this one a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this one. It was a really fantastic film. What did y'all think of 28 Years Later?